Facebook is a ticking time bomb. Now, typically, whenever I do presentations like these, I have somebody introduce me. But since we're doing a live stream, I'll just take care of that myself. Again, as I said, my name is Ben Gothard. I've built 4 different companies, all in the online space, and I have published 10 different books, all available online on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, the Apple Bookstore, and the Google Play Store as well. In addition to that, I host a podcast called Project Egg, and I interview successful entrepreneurs from around the world like Patrick Bet-David, Pat Flynn, Kim Garst, Ryan Stewman, Nicholas Kuzmich, and more. So today, I'm going to be breaking down Facebook advertising for you. Now, why is it so important that you understand Facebook advertising? And why should you listen? Why should you care? Well, Facebook is one of the most sophisticated marketing engines of our time. With over 22% of the world's population on this platform, if you're not using this for your business, then you are leaving tons of money on the table. It is critical for the life of your business, the health of your business, that you get onto Facebook and establish it as a marketing channel to sell your products or services to your customers. They're on Facebook. It's not a matter of, are they on Facebook? It's a matter of, how do I reach them on Facebook? And today, specifically, I want to talk about how Facebook advertising is a ticking time bomb and what you need to do in order to prevent that explosion from destroying your business. Now, we've all heard of funnels, of pixels, of ad campaigns, of cost per click, of conversions, of all these different buzzwords. But so few of us actually know what it really means. So few of us have a deep understanding of this platform and can truly speak about it and leverage it for our business. Now, I've been using Facebook for over 3.5 years. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on the platform and reached hundreds of thousands of customers. Now, I've also helped hundreds of businesses do the same with their advertising as well. So today, I'm going to jump into exactly how you can utilize Facebook advertising for your business. Does that sound fair enough? Now, before I get into the nitty-gritty of Facebook, I want to tell you a little bit more about my story. You see, back in 2014, I was a sophomore in college, and I had 2 conversations that would change my life forever. The first was with my roommate. He had started a t-shirt business, and he wanted help selling those t-shirts. So he called me. The second conversation on the very same day was with my father, who owns a law practice in New Orleans, Louisiana. He also reached out to see if I would help him with his social media. So I told both of them, of course I'll help you guys, but don't hire me, hire my company. Now, I didn't really know what I was doing back then, but after some intense Googling, I figured out how to start a company, and I did so. That company's name is Gothard Enterprises. And I started diving into social media, immersing myself into the different platforms, and really spending that time learning and developing skills that I've honed over the years. I started running ads and figuring out the different intricacies of the platform and realized how big of an opportunity that exists right now for businesses just like yours. Now, moving along in my entrepreneurial career, I published my first book, CEO at 20, A Little Book for Big Dreams, on July 3rd of 2016. Because you see, I'm actually in the business of helping people. I'm in the business of helping people chase their dreams. Whether it be through my ad agency, whether it be through my books, or whether it be through the third thing that I started, which was Project Egg, which is a video podcast where I interview entrepreneurs from around the world and help share their knowledge and their stories to educate and inspire up-and-coming entrepreneurs around the globe. As I said, I'm in the business of helping people. specifically helping them to turn their dreams into reality, whether that be through my marketing agency or my books or through the podcast. It all channels towards the same goal, and that is to help people turn their dreams into reality. So fast forward now to 2018, and I've rebranded that marketing agency arm of Gothard Enterprises and turned it into the newest venture, which is called Apex Ventures. And that, my friends, is the ad agency that I'm currently the CEO of. And that is where I get to help the most people, because I only work with clients who help other people. That's what I believe in. Helping people help people. But enough about me. Let's talk about how the knowledge that I've gained and the processes that I use can help you in your business, can help you tackle this phenomenon of Facebook advertising. Now, the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make sure that we have the proper mindset. We're going to need to make sure that we understand that Facebook advertising can work. Not only can it work, but it does work for millions of businesses around the world as we speak. The businesses who aren't effectively using Facebook advertising have dabbled in it and failed, have tried to just put up a few dollars and see what happens. But they haven't truly invested in the platform and made it work for their business. You see, Facebook can work for any business, B2B, B2C. It doesn't matter. Because with 22% of the world's population on Facebook, your customers are there. It's just a matter of figuring out how to channel Facebook to reach those specific customers. That's what we're going to talk about today. How to channel Facebook and leverage the platform to accomplish your goals. But before we go into that channeling and leveraging this advanced marketing engine, you need to make sure that you understand that Facebook can, and with the proper investment of time and energy, will work for your business. Not only that, but it is your responsibility. It is your ethical responsibility to make Facebook work for your business. Now, I know this is a bold claim, but why do I say this? When you can help more people, when you can make more sales, when you can get more customers, you have more resources. And when you have these resources, you can take care of your family, you can hire more people, you can invest back in your business and improve what you do. By doing that, you're stimulating the economy. You see, entrepreneurs are the backbone of the world's economy. We small business owners are the ones who make this world tick. We're the people who solve problems, who innovate. We're the people who make sure that when somebody has an issue, we are the ones that solve it for them, that they get that problem solved. That's us. We have this tremendous responsibility. And so by not leveraging the tools that we have around us and that we have available to us, we are doing a disservice to ourselves and our customers. Because the better that we get at Facebook advertising, the more revenue we're going to see come into our business, and the more that we can invest in our business and do a better job of serving our current customers. Not only that, but you can do a better job of taking care of your family, of making sure that you're living the lifestyle that you want, that your kids are living the lifestyle that you want them to live, that they don't have to worry about paying for college or paying for their education. Or when, God forbid, a catastrophe happens, that you have money in the bank set aside to deal with that. And it becomes a moral obligation, an ethical issue, to take care of the things in your life that you need to take care of. And by not using the tools available to you to do so, you're leaving money on the table. And at that point, it is an ethical error in what is happening. So because of that, I implore you to pay attention to what I'm going to tell you today, because I'm going to give you the keys to make Facebook work for you. You see, it can work for everybody, like I've been saying. But if you don't invest the proper time, money, and energy into the platform, it's not going to give you the results that you need. So we talked a little bit about the responsibility that we as business owners have to use these tools available to us. But I want to make sure that we understand why Facebook is the proper option, why Facebook is the route that we should go, and how Facebook is so effective. How is it so good at what it does? Well, you see, users like you and I, we go on the platform and we volunteer our information. We fill out our profiles and we say how old we are, what gender we are, what our email address is, where we live, what our occupation is. And then over time, we like Facebook pages and we indicate our interests in certain areas. We go like a dog page. We indicate that we like dogs. We go like a Save the Rainforest page, so we know we're interested in the environment. And over time, Facebook is collecting this data that we are volunteering for them. We're giving them this information on a silver platter. And because we're doing so, Facebook is able to predict what interests we have. Now, unlike any other marketing engine on the planet today, this collection of data allows Facebook to present to marketers a very, very sophisticated engine of targeting and of specifying exactly who to show ads to. So when I indicate that I am interested in dogs, a pet toy company can target me based on that interest. That's just one example of how powerful Facebook is and of the data that it has collected. Not only that, but over time, as more marketers use the platform, Facebook's internal algorithm is actually learning. It's actually learning which people respond to which ads, which offers work with which demographics, which age group responds better to what types of advertisements, whether it's images or videos or carousel. So Facebook is gathering all of this data from what marketers do and how users interact with each other and the platform itself. And it is combining that into a massive, massive, massive warehouse of data that its algorithm can use to help match up people with advertisers. Because you see, Facebook, its algorithm, what the algorithm's job to do is to make Facebook money. And in order for Facebook to make money, it needs to become an effective advertising tool for marketers like me and you. And in order for it to be effective, it needs to show results. Because when it shows results, it encourages people to continue to spend on the platform. So if the algorithm is not good at what it does, which is matching up people with advertisers, then Facebook's not going to be in business anymore. Not only that, but it wants to keep its users happy and on the platform. In order to do that, Facebook's algorithm needs to make sure it's only showing extremely relevant content and ads to its users. So it's in everybody's best interest for Facebook's algorithm to be extremely effective at matching up the proper ads with the proper people. And that's what we're going to tap into. That's the power and the algorithm. And this is all automated intelligence. This is all AI. This is all based on neural networks and big data and deep learning algorithms behind the scenes that you and I don't see. This all happens behind the curtain of Facebook. But by advertising on the platform and by spending hours and hours and hours on this, I've started to learn exactly how this algorithm works. And that's what I want to share with you, and how to use the algorithm, how to work with Facebook to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. So let's talk about, now that we know what Facebook is, let's talk about why there is a ticking clock. Why is it a ticking clock? Now, in order to understand this, we need to talk about how Facebook gets compensated by marketers. And that is through an auction system. Now, to best explain this, I want you to picture for a moment the Facebook news feed. And picture when you're scrolling through the news feed. You see pictures, you see videos, you see text from different people. In addition, every couple of pictures or pieces of content that you see, you're going to see a sponsored post. And these sponsored posts are the advertisements. Now, as you know, there are probably about 2.1 billion people on Facebook as of this recording. And as such, there's a finite amount of ad space available for marketers to show their ads on. So when you're scrolling through the news feed, there's only so many people that scroll through every day, meaning there's only so many spots available on that news feed for Facebook to display an ad. So who gets that spot? That's where the auction system comes in. Imagine John and Tom are both trying to show their ads to the same audience, the same person. And as this person is scrolling through, as the user scrolling through, John bids to show this person scrolling his ad for 10 cents. And Tom comes in and bids 11 cents. Tom's going to show that advertisement because he is paying Facebook more money to display that advertisement. Now, if John comes back and bids 12 cents, John's going to get that spot. So whoever is willing to pay more for that spot is going to have their ad shown. Now, bigger businesses with bigger budgets are obviously going to be able to spend more money to get onto the platform. So once these bigger businesses start waking up and realizing how underpriced everything is on Facebook, they're going to start investing tons and tons of money, billions of dollars into the platform. And the only thing that that's going to do is drive the price up. But right now we have a window of at most 2 years, but probably less, in order to buy these ad spots, buy attention from our customers at an undervalued price. As many people as there are that are marketing on Facebook right now, it is severely underpriced. And we are getting great deals right now. Right at this very moment, we're getting great deals on our advertising spend. But in a very short amount of time, as more people and especially bigger businesses get onto Facebook, because they will, and they are actively right now waking up. As soon as the biggest businesses get onto Facebook, it's going to drive the price up, and it is going to level out to where everything will be priced appropriately. And we're going to see the same thing happen to Facebook that happened to Google in about 2009 and 2010. The price of keywords back in 2001 to 2005 were about 8 to 10 cents per click. Now, those same keywords are at $8 per click. The same thing is going to happen to Facebook. So if you don't get on Facebook now and you don't start understanding it and crushing it for your business now, it is going to be too late. That is why it's a ticking time bomb. Because in about 2 years, at most, these big businesses are going to come up onto the platform and drive the price up. And there is nothing that we can do about it. So we need to act now. We need to take massive action now and make sure that that does not happen before we have gotten what we need to get out of Facebook, which is a humongous pool of customers. You see, unlike Amazon, when we invest in Facebook traffic, we own those customers. We're collecting emails, we're collecting customers, we're building a list, and we own that. It doesn't matter if Amazon erupts in a firestorm or Facebook just gets shut down. We own those emails, we own those customers, and nobody can take that away from us. That is why it's so important to advertise and to get this data, to buy this data now while the price is still low enough to where it makes sense for small businesses to get on the platform. And again, we have about 2 years of that ticking clock until the price just explodes. So I implore you to get on Facebook now. Take the action now before it's too late. So you may be wondering, all right, it's a ticking clock. And I know that. But how do I go about doing so? How do I get on Facebook and how do I make it happen? Well, before you get onto Facebook itself, there are two major things that you need to have ready. The first is your offer. You see, before you buy traffic, you need to have something of value to offer your customers in order to justify them spending money with you or giving you their contact information. Typically, this is going to be in the form of a lead magnet. Now, what does this mean? Well, a lead magnet is something that you give for free to your customers in exchange for their contact information. Think of it like an ethical bribe. And you're giving away this piece of content that you've spent time to create and made sure it's extremely valuable and solves a problem for your target market, for your audience. And once you give that information, you're positioning yourself as an expert in your field, and you're opening the door to do business with these customers further down the road. So what forms can this lead magnet take? It can be a webinar, it can be an ebook, it can be a cheat sheet, it can be a checklist, it can be a workshop, it can be an invitation to a private Facebook group, it can be an invitation to join a special email list or a mini course or an email series. There are any number of things that you can provide to your customers for free that will position you as the expert and encourage these people to buy from you later down the road. And when I say later down the road, it doesn't have to be 6 months from now. It doesn't have to be 12 months from now. It could be right after they take your offer, then you upsell them on something. You make a one-time offer. But you first need to establish that authority and position yourself as the expert. So for some businesses, a lead magnet is going to be just fine, where you give away content. For other businesses, you need to give product. Now, when I say give, I mean discounting your product. Giving 10% off if they purchase immediately. Doing a free plus shipping offer where you give away the product for free. The customer just has to cover the shipping cost. Now, the whole idea of this offer that you're going to present to the market on Facebook is to make sure that you're incentivizing your customers to come into your ecosystem, to do business with you. You see, because at the end of the day, people think about what you can do for them. They don't care about you or your business. As harsh as it is to say, that's the reality. And if you're not providing some incentive for them to come do business with you, they're not going to. You're a small business owner. You get it. You know. The same thing applies on Facebook. And if you don't give your customers a reason to enter into your funnel and to enter into your ecosystem, they're not going to. So make sure you have an offer ready to go that you can drive traffic from Facebook to, that will get people's attention, that your customers find valuable, and that will position you as an authority in your space. Now, once you have this offer, it is critical to make sure that you have the infrastructure to handle all of this new traffic. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you are a dentist and you want to use Facebook to get more clients, get more patients. If you start running Facebook ads and you start receiving an influx of leads, but you don't have any way to onboard those leads and to convert those leads to customers and then deal with those new customers, then you're throwing money down the drain. So you need to have your infrastructure to receive these new customers from Facebook and onboard them into your business. Now, if you sell information products, this is easy because all you have to do is upsell them to the next product and keep pushing them through your funnel. If you are in e-commerce, you can just keep selling them more products. If you're in a service-based business, you're going to want to make sure that you have the salespeople ready to go to take those leads and convert them into customers, and that you have the capacity internally to provide your services at the same quality at one new customer as to 100. So I would strongly advise to make sure that your infrastructure is where it needs to be to handle this influx of traffic. Because while it is pessimistic to assume that it's not going to work, once you utilize the keys that I'm talking about today, and once you plug everything in and get it up and running for your business, you are going to find success with Facebook. And once you do, you need to be able to handle that success and handle the incoming traffic. Now, this is a great problem to have, but if you're not ready and you don't have the ability to handle this influx of new customers, then it's for naught. So make sure that your infrastructure is ready to accept these new customers. Now, let's dive in to the actual platform itself, Facebook. Now, there are 3 main levels to a Facebook campaign. There's the campaign level, there's the ad set level, and then there's the ad level. Now, let's go through each one in depth and talk about them. First, with your campaign, you need to define your objectives. You need to tell Facebook what you want to accomplish from this campaign. Now, there are many different objectives. You can go for video views. You can go for link clicks. You can go for conversions. You can go for app installs. You can go for leads. It's important to understand what metrics are most important for you that will make the most difference in your business in order to set yourself up for campaign success. For example, if you have a video that you get tons of views to, but it has no call to action, there's no next step, and you're just getting views just for the sake of getting views, it doesn't matter how many views you get unless there's a bigger play, maybe you're branding, but there's no next step there. So you need to make sure that you're choosing an objective that is in line with what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to build your brand and just build general awareness for your company, then by all means, get as many video views as you can, drive it to the point where it has enough shares to go viral. But if you're trying to get sales, then go for that objective. Don't try to take this indirect path. You need to tell Facebook exactly what you need and invest the proper resources to get that out of Facebook. Now, that being said, I'm not going to tell you which one is the best for your business. You need to decide that. But I will say that it is important to understand each one in order to understand how you can use it to further your business. Let's take e-commerce, for example. There are two general trains of thought that I come across with my clients. One is that they want to capture leads and then market to them further, either retarget them with Facebook or follow up with them through email or both, and eventually convert them into customers over the long term. The second route is to just get purchases, send people straight from Facebook to a product page and make the sale. Either one of these can work. What's important is to define the one that you want for your business. It's to make sure you understand what is most important for you and to choose that directly. Because if you're trying to take an indirect route, you're not leveraging Facebook to the fullest potential. For example, if you use a conversion ad, the conversion objective, you can tell Facebook that you want to optimize for purchases. And so once you start getting enough purchases to really achieve statistical significance with Facebook's algorithm, Facebook will find buyers for you that are most like your previous buyers. And that's powerful. That's optimizing. And that is letting Facebook do the heavy lifting for you. Because Facebook is a brilliant engine. I've been saying that this whole time. We need to leverage Facebook, not try to micromanage it. We need to leverage Facebook and work with it to where we are allowing Facebook to find the people that we need to find and push them through our ecosystem in the way that we need to push them through. That's the idea. We want to let Facebook do that because Facebook will narrow down your target market, identify your ideal customer, and then allow you to scale based off of that data. But if you're trying to micromanage Facebook, it's not going to work. So be very direct about it. That is what is so important about the campaign, is to pick an objective that works for you. Next is the ad set. And here we're going to define our target market. We're going to talk about placements and budgeting. So let's start with our target market. How do we know who we're targeting? Well, Facebook has a beautiful system that allows you to target people based on age. And you can click male, female, or both. On, gender and age, where you can choose your range. You can do 25 to 32. You can do 21 to 65, any combination that you want. You can set a location. You can say, I only want to advertise to people who are in New Orleans. I only want to advertise to people who are on this one street. You can define an exact address and set a radius around that. When companies use the buzzword geo-targeting, that's what they mean. They're picking a location that they're targeting specifically, and they're showing ads only to that location. You see, a lot of companies like to use these big buzzwords when really it's just about setting your parameters within Facebook properly to achieve these results. Now, next is placements, because Facebook, as you probably know, owns Instagram. So you can show people ads on Facebook, on Instagram, and what's called the audience network, as well as Messenger. Now, these different platforms all have pros and cons. But what I would suggest for your first campaign, and when you're really starting to get into it, to typically only use Facebook and Instagram and only go on the feeds. And once you start getting more familiar with the platform and with everything that goes on, then start testing and expanding your horizons. But for the beginning, just use the feeds. Now, next, we're going to talk about budgeting. And this is where I see a lot of marketers go wrong. You see, Facebook needs to gather data. It needs data to be able to do what it does best, which is leverage their algorithm and let the algorithm find statistical significance between data points to achieve your objective. Now, what does this mean? Well, let's say that you are optimizing for purchases and you're running a conversion ad. Well, you need to give Facebook enough data to where it understands who your customers are, who the people are that are purchasing, And you need to allow Facebook to have enough data to find statistical significance. So that's when people say, oh, I'm going to start with a $5 a day budget. It typically does not work. Because if you're getting, and the rule of thumb is you need 50 conversions within your conversion window, which you also set in the ad set level, to achieve statistical significance. So if you're not getting at least 50 conversions, then Facebook is not able to optimize, and you're going to get terrible results. You're not going to get the results that you can get. And so what most people do is they put $5 a day, they don't see the results they want after 3 days, and they quit and say Facebook doesn't work for them. Facebook is a long-term approach. You need to be in it for the long term. You need to give Facebook the resources and the budget that it needs to gather the data that it needs to do what you are asking it to do. And that is one of the reasons why most marketers fail, is because they don't understand that you are giving Facebook the resources that it needs to find statistical significance within your campaign and to then map out the similarities between your different data points and to find the most likely next buyer. So once Facebook has at least 50 buyers within the conversion window, just typically 7 days, once Facebook has at least 50 buyers per week, that's when you start optimizing. That's when you start seeing your true cost per purchase, your true cost per lead. And that's where a lot of people fail. Now let's talk about the ad level. Here, you are defining what your customers are seeing. Everything else has been internal, what you're seeing so far. But the ad level is where you determine what your customers see. Now you can choose to show them images, videos, carousels, which is when it's scrollable. You can show them plenty of different options. And you can also write text. That's called your copy. That's your advertising copy. Now, in order to make sure that you are delivering a strong ad, I would suggest testing different messages, different copy, and different images within one ad set and letting Facebook choose which one is the most effective for you. Now, we're getting very technical here, but I assure you, once you go onto the platform itself, you'll start to understand what I'm talking about because you'll see it right in front of you. And it will be a lot easier to put my words to an actual screen. But I'm trying to give you higher level strategy and trying to give you the tools that you need to be successful on Facebook. So once you have set up your campaign, your ad set, and your ad, you're ready to go. And you can launch your campaign. Now, as a rule of thumb, I like to let campaigns mature themselves. I like to give Facebook the data that it needs. And then upon discovering that I have a profitable offer, scale based off of that. Now, a lot of businesses and a lot of marketers do not understand how to scale Facebook advertising. They don't understand how to do it. Because just because your ad works at $5 a day or $50 a day does not mean that it's going to work at $500 a day. And there's a very systematic process that my agency uses to scale appropriately and to maintain the integrity of your ads. Now, we've covered a lot today. We've talked about why it's so important to use Facebook ads. We've talked about why it is a moral obligation to utilize the tools around you to succeed in business. We've talked about getting the right mindset and understanding that Facebook can and will work for your business if you invest the proper resources into it. We've talked about why Facebook is a ticking time bomb. We've talked about the things that you need to get in place before you start running a Facebook ad. And we've talked about the key components to a successful Facebook ad. Now, If any of these things seem difficult, or if they seem like something you don't want to invest your time and money into learning, into testing and failing, then you can always reach out to my agency and we can help you move forward. Now, we're very selective about who we work with because there's a limited amount of time in the day. And we want to make sure that we're delivering top-notch results to our clients. But if you catch us at the right time, we might be able to work out a deal where we can work together and explode your business using Facebook ads. If this is something that you're interested in talking about, you can reach out to me personally at ben@apex.io. That's ben@apexx.io. You can also reach out to me through my personal cell. And I'm giving this to you because you've stayed along with me through this entire presentation. And that's 504-919-9849. Now, I'm happy to talk with anybody. I'm happy to give some of my time to help make sure that you progress and that you are successful in your marketing endeavors, because it is my job to help you turn your dreams into reality. Now, Facebook, it's a beast. It takes a long time to master. It takes a long time to tame. And there are no guarantees of success. But if you wait too long, you're going to miss your opportunity to utilize one of the most sophisticated marketing engines of our time. And I implore you, don't let that happen to your business. Because the second these big brands wake up and start investing the proper amount of money that they should be investing in the platform, these prices are just going to go up. And it doesn't matter how good your offer is. If you can't outbid these big businesses, your ads are not going to be shown to the people that you need to show them to. So I implore you, take action now. Do the things that you need to do now to secure the future of your business. Now, I want to help you do this. So again, reach out to me at ben@apex.io. That's ben@apexx.io. You can reach out to me at my personal cell phone number. That's 504-919-9849. That's 504-919-9849. Now, I hope this has been a helpful presentation. If you like this presentation and you want me to speak at your event, or you want me to speak to your community, or you know somebody who needs a speaker, reach out to me at that same email address and phone number. That's ben@apex.io, 504-919-9849. I'm in the business of helping people turn their dreams into reality.